because we don't clear what has been in the past, and we don't try and help ourselves. An individual who is full of possessions of their mind is responsible for their thoughts and also for their actions. This individual has looked in the mirror and know who they are. But it's time this morning, and this may be a little deep this morning, but it's time this morning for us to discover who we truly are and bring out the brokenness that's within us. And when you're burdened down and when you're broken, how can you have peace in your life? How can you celebrate and give praises unto God? And so many of us come in church on Sunday mornings and we're in the midst of others, and you wonder sometimes, why is that individual looking so sad? Why can't they praise God like me? You don't know what others are going through and what they are experiencing. If the load you're carrying seems too heavy for you, it is because you were never meant to carry it alone. And I'm going to ask the question this morning. I'm probably going to get a full answer. How many of you really know God? How many of you really know that He's able to take care of your brokenness? You see, God never intended for us to live under circumstances, and He never intended us to live under pressure. He intended for us to live above our circumstances. And God has not given us the spirit of anxiety. He's not given us the spirit of worry, of depression, of tension, or even the spirit of discouragement. And although when we stop and think about it, some of our darkest hours in our life, because we're so busy with other things in our lives, busy with our families and busy with our work. Some of us sitting in here today are workaholics because we don't want to deal with the brokenness that may be in our own lives, a brokenness in a member of our family. So we take time to put it into something else so we don't have to come home and deal with it. And sometimes we must be broken before we realize that we really need help. Our deepest need is to be reconciled to God. And only then can we be made whole. Well, what are you saying, Reverend? The solution can never come from our own efforts or striving, but it can only come from God. And only when we recognize our need for God are we able to take our eyes off of ourselves and focus them on God, who will be the only one that can take us out of that brokenness. But most importantly, it's only when we admit our need and ask God to come into our life, all other grounds. We have to admit that we need help. Only when we confess that we are broken can God make us into what He wants us to be. I want to leave you with a few observations. In a way that she was able to go back. Be careful of the traps that you fall in. Her brokenness came because she was trying to please her master. And sometimes you have to stay committed to the Lord. But the end of the story, you go and read the chapter. Her son Ishmael was still blessed with land, but he never turned out to be the ruler of all. Recognize, admit, and one of the most important things of all is accept the past. How many of you can accept the past? A brokenness where you've been. Reconcile with your past. Takes me to Jacob, Leah, and Rachel. Two sisters. One beautiful, one was not the picture of your eye. And Jacob had worked for 7 years and thought he was going to get the bride Rachel beautiful. But something happened. The night he pulled the veil off of her, he found out that he had been tricked. I want to tell you, don't get tricked into short answers. You need to be totally committed to the Lord to come out of your brokenness. And you can't